For my column for This Is Money this week, I'm responding to a reader who wrote in with a letter his wife had received from HM Revenue and Customs demanding that she pay national insurance for last year. The reader's wife is self-employed and she had had very little profit last year, and the letter said that if she didn't pay, she might be at risk of not getting a full pension. But she knew this wasn't the case because actually she'd already built up enough national insurance to get a full pension. So what's going on? Well, this all relates to the way the self-employed pay national insurance. If you have profits of over $12,570 a year, you have to pay what's called Class 4 national insurance. This is basically a tax, a profits tax. It doesn't earn you anything, but it's mandatory. If, however, you have anything above £6,845, something called the small profits threshold, then you automatically get credited with something called Class 2 national insurance. This is a kind of weekly NI, and this is very valuable because it helps you build up a pension and entitlement to other benefits. And since last year, anyone who earns above this lower figure gets this credited automatically. They literally don't have to pay it, they get it for free. But what's odd about the reader's wife's situation is that her profits were actually below this figure as well, which meant she didn't get credited, but could voluntarily pay just over £179 for the year and get a year's national insurance. Now, this is voluntary, but the letter is a bit ambiguous. It does say request to pay, but it also says amount due, and it also gives a deadline, and it also suggests that if you don't pay, you might get a reduced state pension. Now, some people might think, well, what are HMRC doing writing letters saying you might not get a full state pension when actually the reader will do? And the answer to that is HM Revenue and Customs collect the NI and keep NI records, but the Department for Work and Pensions work out the pensions, and the two just don't talk to each other for these purposes. I contacted HMRC and they said, well, no, we make it very clear that this letter is a request for payment and that people don't have to do it. But I don't think the letter is at all clear. If you get something on HMRC's letterhead telling you that money is due and giving you a deadline and threatening you that you might not get a full pension if you don't, I think for most people they're going to think they have to pay. Now, there are circumstances in which this reader might have chosen to pay because this NI does help with other things like sickness benefits, like employment support allowance. But by and large, it's the pension most people are focused on. And I think unless these letters are changed, there's a real chance that people will mistakenly think that they have to pay this money when they don't.